The numbers are right. Everything reconcile. Nothing is missing. There's more data than ever, and less room to think. So what do we actually do next? That's the moment you realize the math was almost helpful.
What's up?
What's up, man? Just me and you today, huh?
Looks that way right now. What the heck?
No, yeah.
Here comes Dawn.
There you go. Don James coming in. Kathy Schaefer coming in.
The website was running slow. It took me a minute to get in too. It took a second to load. What's up?
What took the time?
Cashflowmike.com.
Huh. Yeah, because we did a lot of work trying to speed that up. I'm actually thinning it all out too.
Yeah.
A big project I started working on yesterday. What's up, Kathy?
Hi,
And,
how are you?
Good. Don James, what's up? Where you been?
I've been around. I got all cumbuckled because I couldn't get in the other day. So I missed that one.
Yeah, because you were one of the grandfathered ones, so I might have to do something manually. Did you try today?
No, I just responded to the email. I
All right.
wanted to set my calendar up again.
Yeah, because you were already a current subscriber, did you on the new app, you have to create an account, and then when you put the email address in, it connects to your subscription.
Yeah, that never came through. You had sent me a link. It didn't come through, and I tried it a couple different times.
Well, while we're kind of waiting for some folks to come in, you want to share your screen? I'll tell you what to do.
Sure.
Get you in. Artie Burns here. Look at Artie Burns coming in.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, here you can't see you.
Okay, hold on.
Wasn't that the commercial? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. That was actually a commercial. Now that I said it out loud, I grew up in Illinois, and in Kewanee, Illinois, there was a furniture store called Goods Furniture, and their commercials all growing up were, "Can you see me? Can you hear me? Then you're in our free delivery area." Yeah, that's really weird. But we can't see you. We can see Austin though. I can see Austin behind you.
I think that's New York City.
Oh, is that New York? Okay, it's really small on my screen. I couldn't see.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so we're going to get, Kathy, what's up?
Just a really quick question. I wanted to ask you about that, and maybe you'll talk about it at the end. The May Live thing that you're doing. I can't travel there. And I saw that you can do the remote and I wanted to make sure, is it the same experience or will it be a little different? Because we're like can't be there. I mean, we're gonna not be there live, of course, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, well, it's like your lives, all right. So I mean, it's a virtual experience. We have it's like a 360 AI camera. So and it sits in the middle of the room, and anybody that talks, it goes to, right? So you're there, so you see when people are talking. It's not like people are hidden, and it's like you're in the room, but you're on the wall.
Okay. Well, no, that's fine. I just wasn't sure because
Yeah.
sometimes when these happen, they're like, well, you can come and you can do this, but you really aren't going to get these things because you're only virtual. So,
No, you get the full experience. It's just that you're going to watch it on a screen instead of sit at a table. You don't get the cool snacks. You don't get to go to dinner with us. You know?
that's okay. I can't make the travel, but I could
Yeah.
do that. Sure. Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I mean, but you also do get the recordings as well. In the recordings, we try to cut out the break rooms and break times and stuff like that. So it's instead of a 6 hour video, it's like 4 hours worth of video or something like that. So,
Okay, cool.
but yeah,
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Don, you've done the virtual before, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I like to try to pull people in from that virtual experience instead of make you feel like you're just an observer.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna probably do it again this time.
okay. Yeah. Well, and this time is the whole app experience. It is a deep dive into every part of the app, different scenarios, using it, talking about it, setting it up, those type of things. You'll walk away with, even if you bring your own clients, you'll have them all set up and ready to go work.
Okay.
All right.
Mike, for those that are curious about what Kathy and Don and Mike are talking about, I'm getting ready to drop the link for the Flip Snack so you can read about our live event that's coming up.
Yep. Don, were you able to, if you go to clearpathtocash.com,
Right. I'm there.
all right, down at the bottom, it's not log in. You can't log in yet. You got to create your account. So you got to go to sign up or whatever it says. It's really small. I can't change
Okay,
it.
I see it.
Okay, yeah, I can't change that modal because it's the Google authorization modal. But I don't like the way it looks, or I would change it. But Google like going, no, you can't change it. Okay,
Okay, so now it's sending
a code. It'll send a code to you.
yeah, so I got this far before, but I didn't get
The code.
her.
Generally, that's because of a security setting on your emails. It's probably going to junk or spam.
Yeah, the last time I went into our quarantine and looked for it and couldn't find it. I'll go into the quarantine again.
Yeah, if anything, you'll have to whitelist ClearPath to Cache.
Yeah, I have access to the bin that all of our stuff that gets filtered goes to.
All right. Yeah, because I've got you're in here, but you haven't logged in. You haven't got anything yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to put in that code to make sure you're the user of the email.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. Yeah, it takes a couple of minutes sometimes.
You know, we're in such a hurry all the
I know. All right. So, Artie's brand new.
Yes, sir.
Artie and I met, and I'm going to say a year ago now, almost a year ago. We met in Austin. He's part of the Woodard group, and we've seen each other twice, three times now
Something like
in
that.
person. Yeah, yeah. Artie does lending, or what? Describe to everybody what you're doing
So
there.
I do alternative working capital asset-based lending. It's short, medium-term bridge financing for companies that have cash flow problems. Mostly turn downs, decline from the bank. They can't finance a company. So you're young and you're growing, you can't qualify for bank funding. We only do 1 month to 4 year loans. That's it. Bridge, get you over the hump, get you back to the bank. It's real basically hard money. If you ever heard that term, we do hard money. Not only do we do real estate hard money, but we do corporate assets loans for collateral hard money. So it's
All
a
right.
pretty neat niche.
So that's kind of a cool thing. So, and I don't know if Catherine or Jeff or Dawn know this. Describe the difference between hard money and soft money.
Well, hard money is more expensive. That's why I think they call it hard money. You know, it starts at like 12%, 10 to 12% can go up from there. Soft money is bank money. I always say go to the bank first. They can't help you. You can't qualify for bank funding. Then you come to me. I'll bridge you for a while. I can bridge you for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, up to 4 years, and get you back to the bank. Is I'm honest with them, more expensive. So I'm more flexible, more creative, more expensive. So.
All right. Got it. So let's see here. I want to. And Catherine, how about you? Have we really talked? I mean, I see your name a lot, but I mean, have we really?
I pop in and out of everywhere. I try to find things and do things, and then I get so busy, and then I gotta go and come back. So yeah, my company is the Bookkeeper Repairman. Basically, my background is I started with public accounting, and then I was in the family manufacturing company. We eventually sold that business. My husband's retired, and I became a controller for a lot of different companies, and it was just working major hours. So I decided that I knew a lot of small companies based off of my vast experience needed help with QuickBooks and business overall, small business consulting. So 3 years ago, right after COVID, I took a leap and decided to work 80 hours myself for myself instead of 80 hours for somebody else. So I basically teach small businesses how to use their QuickBooks, do their bookkeeping correct themselves so they can get their stuff to the tax accountants. And then I also kind of going more into the cash flow CFO advisory role as well for the companies that have been in business for at least 2 years and tried at least $1 million in sales.
Where are you located?
I am in Western New York, but I do all over the United States.
Oh, you're in New York. Okay.
Yeah, I'm up north of Buffalo, so I'm like on the border of Canada and United States. So I can walk to well, not walk, but I can ride my bike to Niagara Falls.
Oh,
Awesome. No.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, we have had a lot of snow. It's raining out right now, and finally the 24 inches on my deck has starting to melt.
Yeah.
I should go to San Antonio. I need to get warm down there
There you go. Come on
because
down.
it'll still be cold up here in May.
Right.
Got it. And Don, you're nowhere near that spill, are you?
I'm about a half hour away.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't affect us.
Well,
Not,
Well,
not so much.
you're upstream from that, right? You're upriver from all that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
got it.
are. Now the wind
That's
shifts.
horrible. That's just horrible. So. All right, and Michelle, welcome. I know you're going to listen quietly, but today we're going to be talking about the app. Oh, here comes Michelle. There you go. Hey, Michelle, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? I met you at the SBDC, ASBDC, at our.
That's right. Remember I told you, Courtney, my wife, runs your bookstore there.
Absolutely.
Xavier, yeah. Well, she runs a bunch of bookstores like Xavier, uh, Delgado. What's the other one that's there in town? Loyola.
Lane, UNO, we are lousy with schools.
Yeah, you got a bunch of them. Yeah, she does LSU. She does the Raging Cajuns up there. So yeah, there's something out in Nichols too, or Nichols is somewhere out
Nickel
around there.
State.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so we get to. Matter of fact, she's going to New Orleans next week. So sometimes I tag along. We don't go during Mardi Gras because it's a little busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Busy. But people send us king cakes, right? We got like two king cakes at
I got the king cake. Someone
Do you?
sent me one this year.
that Michelle, you tell me if this is true or not. You have to keep the knife in the box.
I'm from Queens, New York.
Oh, then you wouldn't know.
So
Artie, do you know that one?
No, never heard that one.
Yeah, once you cut into the king cake, you're supposed to keep the knife in the box. You can't take the knife out until the
Oh,
cake's
didn't know
gone.
that.
I
Yeah,
learned
that's one
something
of
new
those
every day.
superstitions. Huh?
I learned something new here every day.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I took it out the very first time, and boy, I got chastised. I'm like, oh, wait a second, I don't want to give superstition and bad luck to everybody.
I took my king cake to the Super Bowl party.
Okay, right on. Okay, so today we're talking about the new app, though. Artie, you and I can always get offline and go through the other one that you use. There's a simpler version, the older version of the app, but we're going to go through
I'm
the
older
What's that?
because I'm old.
Well, no, it's just it's a good way to put your toes in the water, right? And and learn some of the basic concepts first. Don, you has been in the old app before. Kathy, you were in the old app, weren't you? Or no?
I'm not sure if I was ever in your app.
Okay, well maybe you haven't been in the app then. So, all right, so
I'm trying to think.
this is the new one we're releasing right now, right? And this one is an AI supported app. And
Okay.
what it's designed to do, and when I say AI supported, is if you've ever seen me wear a shirt that says AI does not equal me, right? AI does not equal ME. To play on words, it's funny, it's calculations, but what I've learned over the last 2.5 years, 3 years working with AI is that the more room you give it, the worse it is, right? It has to be super focused, super dialed in, and very specific on what you're asking it. So what I did is I took all of our stuff, my stuff, and put it into the app. And I use AI, trained it on my books and my calculations and the way I do advisory services, and use AI to speed up the process of answering questions. That's basically what it does. So it's not an AI app, even though there's AI in it. Okay. And it does stuff like parses information, puts it in the right bucket for you in case you messed up. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to use it. But I think to get there, if has anybody been to my website lately? I know it probably performs really slow. Don, you have?
Yeah,
Did you see the shift in messaging?
yeah.
Right. Where it used to be just kind of all about, it was more bold, it was more like SaaS oriented, it was more, featured benefit type thing. What happened the last year is we're doing a lot more role plays about how do I do this advisory services? Because people were coming to me going, hey, we did this product, this program, or we bought this product, and they're trying to piece together what advisory services is inside their business. And what I was hearing more often than not is that I got stuck, right? I had this great dashboard that, we bought from this company and it was beautiful. And I spent 4 hours putting it together and everything was perfect. It was going to be such a great product for my client. And it produced a nice report. Everybody loved it. And as soon as I presented it to the client, they asked me a question and I didn't have the answer because it wasn't in the dashboard. It wasn't there. It was a question that just wasn't in that focus. So am I going, yeah, I hate that feeling. I mean, Catherine, ever happened to you where somebody asks you a question in a meeting and there's an awkward pause, a silence because you don't have the answer and you can't find it in your notes, you can't find it anywhere else, and you don't know
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a not common occurrence, but enough that, yeah, that's kind of why I found you.
Yeah. Well, and I'm telling you, that's the thing. I'm the type of guy that I don't like to be embarrassed. I like to know stuff. So as soon as I'm kind of embarrassed because I can't answer something, I can feel like the blood, push
Get
up
red,
through my
get
head,
red.
right? And getting red all over my face. I hate that feeling. And most of us solve that problem by saying something like, uh, you know what? That's a good question. Let me get back to you on that.
Yep, that's my go-to.
That's the get out of jail free card, right? So I don't like doing that because what happens then when people do that to me? Like I'm the client, people are doing that to me. The first thing I do after the meeting is, well, I can look it up too. I just go look it up. If my expert don't know it, then if he's got to go look it up, so should I. I go look it up. Well, that gives space for your client to find something else, right? And I don't want that to happen. So the product I built, this new Clear Path to Cash app, is so no matter what happens in a conversation, you have some place to go then on the spot. Instead of saying, let me get back to you, you can say, you know what, let's take a look at that right now. And you can go to a feature inside the app and work through it together, in real time. That makes you look like the expert. That keeps you in charge. That keeps you, keeps the conversation flowing. And it's just an all around better experience. So when they show you the new app, it like Artie says, oh my God, that's a lot. That's why Artie went with the smaller one first because it's a lot. I don't want you to think about it as a lot. If you open up File Explorer on your computer, there's probably all these tools already there. You probably have something for a budget. You probably have something for, invoice. I mean, all these ratio analysis. You probably have a spreadsheet or a worksheet somewhere or an app. Think about this as we took all that stuff and put it in one box. That's all. Does anybody have one of these? Phone. If you have a phone, do you have more than one app on your phone? That's how I want you to look at this advisor app, right? Is that, yeah, just like that, Artie. That's the way it's supposed to look. Is we have apps, right? You don't use every app every time you open the phone. Inside the ClearPath to Cash, you're not going to use every tool every time you open it up. You're going to use the tool that you want to use at that point in time. That's it. So think about it like your smartphone. You're just using the right thing that you want at that moment. Does that make sense? I was trying to frame this up before you do it. So the new way I'm messaging is that I don't want you to think of a tool as almost helpful. You know what I mean by that? Don, what's almost helpful to you?
Almost helpful.
Yeah.
It's kind of sort of way. but it's not quite what it needs to be.
Yeah, it'll get you so far, maybe 80% of the way, and then it stops, right? Or I've before COVID, I hired a guy like me to say, okay, tell me about this advisory. Tell me about how to do it. And it was all about theory. And the thing about the theory was I could never apply it to a real person. I'm like going, well, how does it work here? How does it work in this situation? What about a manufacturer? What about a lawyer? What about, they were all different. And the theory was always so vague. So what I went about to build was I got to build the exact thing to do at the exact right time. The to do, because people can pick up on to do like this. Oh, I just go step 1, 2, 3, and I'm in. So when I say step 1, 2, 3, I built this app to follow 3 things. Every single conversation, all you're going to do is 3 things in order, and then repeat them, and then repeat them, and then repeat them. And I call it the fix framework. Oh, wait a second. I got to turn on my do not disturb, or we're going to get a bunch of bings and pings. There we go. I call it the fix framework, FIX. Find the burning issue, identify what's causing it to catch fire, and then execute and put out the fire. And then once you do one problem, you just go and start again. Find the burning issue, identify what's causing it to burn, and then execute on it, right? And so to do that, when you're finding the burning issue, I created a conversation technique that's in my book called Don't Tell Me What to Do. It's just 8 ways to ask a question. And what you're trying to do is get the person to say what the burning issue is, what the problem is. Because if you can get the other person, the client, to say it out loud, guess what? They own it. There's nobody to argue with. And so to get to that point, I basically told people, I said, go watch Hoarders, right? Because when I wrote that book, I'm looking up there because the book's up there. When I wrote that book, it was after 15 seasons of Hoarders I watched, because I watched one during COVID and I got hooked. Why? Because I didn't see doctor and hoarder. I saw business consultant and business owner. The way the doctor talked to the business owner or to the hoarder was the same way I was talking to the client. And what do you mean by that, Mike? Well, if you see most of the hoarder episodes, they all kind of are formulaic, right? They all kind of lay out the same way. And the first scene is always something like the doctor is walking up to the house and you can see the hoard spilling out into the yard. You can see it in the windows. As soon as the person opens the door, you can see the mess behind them. Can you guys visualize that? Like what a hoarding house looks like? This is what you see as an advisor. A business owner gives you their financial statements. And if you have any experience looking at financial statements, you see the hoard. You go, oh, I see problems here. Those liabilities shouldn't be negative, right? You can just start seeing problems. And in your mind, you're like going problem. And you see them all piled up in front of you. And the thing about that is that you see the problem, but the person that you're trying to work with might not see it as a problem, right? Just like you'll hear the excuses that the hoarder has, like, oh, no, that broken beer bottle, I'm going to turn that into a lamp, right? Or something. We're going to sell it to the flea market. They have all these ideas of why this isn't bad. And so what I noticed is that the first thing and this is where I started really paying attention, the first thing the doctor says is not judgmental. It's not accusatory. It's an open-ended question right off the bat. And it would be something like this. Hey, tell me what I'm looking at here. Or they might say something like going, help me understand what I'm looking, what I'm seeing. Or how do you think it got this way? How do you think it got this way? Both those questions allow the person, the hoarder, to go, oh, he doesn't think it's that bad. I got a chance to explain myself. And then they go into their explanation and tell them why it's that way, which the doctor is looking for the reason why it's that way in what the person says. Does that make sense, or I lose you there? So to me, I boiled it down in business consulting to you're not there to solve the problems that you see. You're there to solve the problem that they feel, right? That's how you get people's attention right off the bat. That's how you get them connected with you right off the bat. And the way I do that is through a technique I call, at first, clear the noise. Now, you'll probably, believe it or not, after you start learning the way that I teach people to ask questions, when you come to these type of meetings, you're going to go, oh my God, he just used that technique. Oh my God, because I do it every day, every conversation. You'll see me like at the beginning of a meeting, I'll say, hey, what's going on in your world? What's happening? I ain't seen you in a while. That is a clear the noise type of question because it gives you the opportunity to get some off your chest or off your mind. Every person that sets a meeting with you, or just like you put something on your calendar to come sit with me for an hour, that's because something's on your mind. You're looking for something, right? You're looking for an answer. You're looking for that. So I try to just give you the opportunity up front. And it doesn't matter what my plan is. If I want to talk about valuation and you don't know if you can make payroll, how much valuation are you going to listen to? You're not. So I say, hey, what's going on in your world? Man, Mike, I don't know if I'm gonna make payroll next week. I put valuation to the side. Hey, let's start there. And we start working on payroll, right? And how we're going to fund it. So that's what you're trying to do. The burning issue, most business problems can be put into one of 6 buckets, right? And the 6 buckets are profit, which is a business model problem, cash flow, which is a timing problem. How fast does money move through a company? Debt, which is what Artie's specialty is, right? A debt problem. They're burdened with too much debt somehow. There's a future problem, and that's the one that you solve with valuation and getting people to, I don't know how I'm going to retire. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, forecasting. So there's a future problem. There's an operations problem. Just something is out of order. Or it doesn't work right, their process. So we teach process optimization. And then there's an education problem. And that's when I added late was education problem. And the education problem was somebody came to me and says, hey, my accountant keeps giving me these financial statements. What am I supposed to do with that? That's an education problem. And I say, hey, let me give you 6 little calculations, the home run financial system, the 7-minute conversation, so they can start to learn how to look at their own financial statements. It's an education problem. So what the app wants you to do with the F, the F and fix, is find the burning issue, right? One of those 6 problems. Because if you can get them to one of those 6 problems, the next step is identify what's causing it to burn. That's when you use one of the techniques, one of the 8 techniques in the Clear Path to Cash, right? Which is in the book, Don't Tell Me What to Do. That's going to tell you where the biggest problem is and where you should focus your attention. Not pour through a million papers. It's going to say, hey, your biggest problem is gross profit. That's what's causing it to burn. Now, gross profit has a couple of different things that can catch fire. I could be paying too much to my vendors in cost of goods sold, or I could be pricing my product wrong. That's the X. Let's go renegotiate with vendors, or let's reset the pricing in your store. So I use the question to find the burning issue of cash flow. We decide gross profit is part of the problem, and then we execute by talking to the vendor or changing our price. Does that make sense? So I know I've spent 30 minutes just telling you what it does, because I think if you understand the process, FIX, then it's easier for you to see it in the app. Make sense? All right, let's go look at it. So, Jeff, anything to add?
No, I'm looking for that graphic, Mike. I'm going to share that graphic that we created. That's what I was going to grab for them.
Oh yeah, put that in there. Yeah,
Yep, I am. I'm grabbing it for you.
yeah. So there is a step-by-step. It looks big. It's not big. It's 3 steps. It just tells you do this next, right? So it's kind of a good reminder of how this process works. All right. So when you log into the Clear Path to Cash, you've got just a basic dashboard. This is just for you and working with your clients. Now you're going to see a couple different ways this might look on your dashboard. You might see these with the light blue background, or you might see them with no background. They're just individual little tiles. These are just companies we're working with. These are families of companies, which means you might have a client that has 4 locations, or like me, when I had a hotel staffing company, 3 restaurants, and a property management company all at once, but I consolidate them to see what Mike Milan's company looked like versus what every individual little business looked like, right? So inside these blue boxes are where you can create a parent-child relationship, and it will create this for you if you want it, a consolidated. You put in the individual parts, say, I want these consolidated, and the app consolidates them into one view and analyzes it as one big company, or you can analyze them as individual little companies. Make sense? So that's what this is. This is a parent-child relationship. These are just individual companies. Now, up top here is a couple different things. You've got access to your video courses, right? So when you're in this app, you still have access to the Clear Path to Cash, Pathfinder, those courses that you got with the membership. And all you do is just click on this, and it will open up the courses that you had to go to the site. It used to be, and this is what I'm fixing right now, it used to be you had to go to 2 different sites, one for the courses, one for the app. You went to Cashflow Mike for the course, you went to ClearPath to Cash for the app. Now I've combined them into one. Right now it gives you a separate experience, but in the future, this learning tab will have your courses built into the app, right? You just click on courses, and I already have the ClearPath to Cash built into it, right? So when you click on continue learning, right, it's going to pull up all your courses and your videos that you can watch. So those are already built into the app, and I'm just moving everything over because I don't want people to get lost. Like, where do I go for this, right? Don, you've been around for 3 years now. That separate experience, sometimes people get confused. What app do I, or what site do I go to for what? Everything's going to be in one. Even the calendar of all the times that I'm available, right? I call it office hours. So you click on office hours, and you can subscribe to this calendar, and you can see that 2 to 4 times a month, I'm just in front of people like this, helping you with your clients' problems. I'm either going to teach or I'm going to work on problems with you. So you can say, hey, Mike, I've got this client that I'm going to deal with on Friday. Maybe you jump in on Wednesday, and we give you a strategy on how to talk to that person on Friday. So don't think that, when you buy this membership, you buy this app, that you're just off into the wind. This is one of the things I'm doing different is I'm there almost every day for you to get you ready for your next client meeting. And this is ongoing. It isn't like I get 3 hours of this or 2 hours of that. No, when you get in here, you're going to be fully supported because I'm going to be available 3-4 times a week, right? That you can just jump in. Make sense? Right? And if nobody has a thing to work on, I just teach, or I show something in the app that's happening. So to get there again, right up top in your membership is membership resources, your courses, and the calendar. Boom, right up top. So let's talk about what we do, right? The fixed framework. I mean, first of all, to get data in there, I'm doing the QuickBooks and Xero integration. We're working on that right now. So that's coming pretty soon. But for you, right, anybody can get any amount of data in here. You can either paste it, copy and paste it right from Excel or PDF, it doesn't matter. You can do multiple periods at once. Like if I go to QuickBooks and do income statement by year, and I got 5 years, I just copy all 5 years and paste it into the product. Or I can just upload the file as well. So the way that would look is I just import it, I paste the income statement, I paste the balance sheet. No cash flow statement because I use the indirect method and calculate it for you, right? Nobody likes the QuickBooks cash flow statement, so I just do it my way and do the cash flow statement for you. So you just paste it. It will have you kind of confirm that things are going to the right bucket, and it creates a period. When I say it creates a period, it's going to create, one of these periods where it's 25. You got them sorted by years. It'll be by quarters. It'll be by months, however you've got them. This just happens to have the years and the months. It doesn't have the quarters created right now, but it's going to create these periods. And each one of these periods, that's a year, that's a month. It'll tell you kind of what the main numbers are for it. and you can edit the individual period, right? It's going to create these for you automatically, but you're like, oh, I need to edit that. So I can click edit. I can even go to manual entry to edit, or I can re-upload things to it if things have changed and just type in whatever I want to edit. Or I can paste it in there or upload it in there. It doesn't matter. You can change the period just by re-uploading it. I also create a visual for you in the period, which means whatever you've uploaded, I'm going to create a clean set of statements for you if you want, right? So here's the income statement. Whatever you pasted in there, it's going to look like this after you paste it in, right? Because this is how I normalize it for the calculations. Here's the balance sheet. And then, of course, you're going to have a cash flow statement. And if there's any problems that we see, I'm going to also outline, hey, here's some problems. This shouldn't be negative. The numbers you put in don't add up for the cash flow statement. Something's missing somewhere, right? It's going to point you to any bookkeeping problems that might be there. And of course, you can remap it or you can delete the period. You can do that as well. All right. Now, when people first get started, they go, I don't know what to do. I've put in the data. I don't know what to do next, right? There's this notion of a guided or a power user. Power user means I don't need any help. I already know what I'm doing. I'm good to go. A guided user, you see what happens here? Watch this tab. If I do this, this is like a little cheat sheet for you. If you're sharing your screen with your client, they don't know what just happened, right? But you do. You saw that little tab, and that little tab is going to tell you what to do next, right? Hey, see the fix framework? Find, identify, execute, then you can review and adjust to whenever you got to do. But this one says our next step is to set the burning issue. So if I click on that, it's going to pull open the burning issues. Here's all of your burning issues. If you know what it is, you're like, oh, they're having a cash flow problem. I can click on cash flow and it creates a playbook for me, which means, oh, here's the cash flow playbook. We already found it. Now do this. Here are the two things I recommend you doing, because it's going to read the data you put in there, understand that you think it's a cash flow problem, and it's going to tell you what tool to use next, right? So if I go to mining your business for hidden cash, this is going to tell me where cash is leaking out of a business, right? I'm just using the recommended product, following the path. And in this case, it's going to compare you two different ways, right? Against the industry average or against your own goals. And to set your goals is just down here at the bottom. We can set our goals on any of these that we want. But this is the most important thing. This is what I use to get people's attention and know where to work. Remember, all I did was just upload the information, and it takes all the information that we uploaded, the data from the income statement and balance sheet, and it does 6 calculations. And in these 6 calculations, it compares you to what you could be or what you should be. What you should be is at least industry average. That's like getting a C in business. What you could be is your own goals. That's like getting an A or a B in business, right? So that's the difference. Because I hope that your goals are better than the average. Nobody wants to be average. You want to be better than average. But if we're looking at just average, these 6 calculations, and you learn this in the course, that cash generating activities are things that happen on the income statement, right? Sales, and I keep subtracting things out till I get to net profit. Cash conversion activities are things that kind of happen on the balance sheet. How long does it take for things to happen? How long does inventory sit on the shelf? How long does it take me to get paid or pay my bills? And what it does is it creates this chart, compares your performance to these goals, either the industry average or the owner's goals. And if in the center here is 0, right? You see that big black line in the center right there? My hand's on it, or my pointer's on it. If you were exactly average in every single one of these categories, you would not see any bars. It would just be black line, 0, you're average. So anytime you see nothing, that means you're average, or basically like 39 days is how fast I pay. And the industry average is 40 days, right? So there's not a lot of movement there. We're about average. That's why you don't see a bar here. But instantly it told me, hey, it feels weird that you don't have enough money because you're letting $78,000 a year leak out of your business just in the way you run it. That's what that's saying. You're leaking $78,000. Well, where's it leaking at? Well, remember the black line is average. Anytime I'm better than average, it's going to be green and above the line. Anytime I'm worse than average, it's going to be red and below the line. Make sense? So this is saying that I'm doing pretty good in sales. For the amount of stuff I have, this is a sales to asset ratio. So for the amount of stuff I have, I'm using it pretty well to create sales. So I don't have a sales problem. I might have a problem where I have to buy another truck to keep selling, or I might have to build a bigger warehouse. I might need more assets to keep growing, but that's not my problem today. So I turn that off. When you go over here and click, it recalculates the whole chart because your job is to get somebody to focus on the biggest problem. Now, it also can give you a chance to pat people on the back. Yeah, you see this? Your gross profit, whatever you're doing with pricing, keep doing that because you actually make more money on each sale than your competitors do. They make 35%, you make 54%. That's a good job. Keep that up. Let's not worry about that today. So I turn it off. Then I'm saying, okay, AP, we're about average. That's where I want you. I want you on AP and AR right around average. That means we're not doing things too fast or too slow. Being too good at AR can actually hurt your sales because I'm trying to be more aggressive in collections when people have a choice to go use somebody that's not as aggressive. So these two I like to be right around the industry average. Why? Because if I get into trouble, I can pull a lever. I can go make some collection calls, or I can sit on an invoice a little bit longer and keep cash in the company. But this company is doing pretty good at both of those, so I'm just going to turn them off. Now, if I'm talking to my client, I'm saying $78,000 are leaking out of your business, and here's where it's leaking, right? We have an operating expense problem, and we have an inventory problem. We've got too much inventory, and we got an operating expense problem. Now, what this is going to do, you're like, okay, what do I do about it? Remember, this is identify. Part of the fixed framework was cash flow is the burning issue. Identify, we use mining your business for hidden cash to identify that this is what's causing the problem. Operating expense and inventory. What's the last step? There's find, identify, execute, right? What are we going to do about these two? So I scroll down, I can either create an action plan, right? AI will create an action plan for me, which will put it on their to-do list, or I can go get more granular using another tool, right? So this is just going to say, hey, create these plans, right? Current inventory is this, we need to get it down. But maybe I need more information. So I go down to the bottom, it says, hey, here's what to do next. So we're working through the issue. We found it, cash flow. The problem's operating expense and inventory. What I'm going to do about it, maybe I'll use the fast money formula first and go see how much inventory is a problem, right? Fast money formula is about, hey, you have this much working capital and you only need this much. Most people can calculate up working capital. That's just how much money you have or have access to. That's your line of credit and your cash. Working capital required is how much do you need, though, to keep up with sales? If I want to keep up with my sales for inventory, how much cash do I need to keep the inventory on the shelves? Or if I'm a service company, how much payroll do I need to keep up with my service, right? That's what it calculates. And down below, it gives you a visual of that. This is called the fast money formula. It tells you how long inventory is sitting on the shelf, how long it takes you to get paid, at the same time you're paying your bills, and the difference between you paying your bills and getting paid by your customers is called the financial gap or the cash gap. You need enough working capital to cover this many days of work, of business, of selling, right? That's what that means. So here it's going to say, what if I had too much inventory? You see how the chart changes? Right? That's if it got worse, it changes. If I collected too slow, it changes and the gap gets bigger. That's where people get into problems. The smaller the gap, the less money it takes to run your business. The larger the gap, the more money it takes to run your business. Right? You see how the number kind of came up now? Right? It came up to 162 and it was at 100 because we made it worse. If we make it better, it takes less money to run your business. So not from current, but maybe I got better. Maybe I got better at inventory. I had less inventory. See what happens to the gap? It's smaller. and it takes less money to run our business. So when people say, how do I solve cash flow problems? This is what you do. You're like going, listen, we've got 3 levers we can pull, for an inventory company. And the smaller we make that gap, the less money it takes for us to run our business. Now you're saying, oh, I work with more than inventory companies. All right. So you come down here to company type. And if you're a service-based company, it changes the way you tell the story. If you're a project-based company, it's going to look at how much you get paid in advance. Like some people have deposit up front, and then they do the work and accumulate bills, and then they get paid at the end. So it looks at it from a project point of view, like a contractor. Or maybe I'm a combination of both, right? And it's going to have more things in there to explain it, right? The concept's similar on all 3. The visual's different because it tells the story to that person's business different. You want to look like you're the expert in every time. Now, one of the things I pointed out, all right, so that's a fast money formula. But here are the main tabs. When you're working with a company, right, you got a couple different things you can do. It will tell you, I can go right back to the last tool I was using. I've got this thing called notes. Those are private notes for the advisor. The client can't see it. If I click it, can you see the notes? Yeah, see? So I can share my screen with you, but I can have my notes off to the side where you can't see it. And these are connected to the person's financial data. So let me reshare this and show you what happened and where they opened. I'm going to share the whole desktop. All right. And pop open that. Okay. Do you see here? I guess we don't need this one. It's me trying to solve problems on the website. Okay. You see, this is my notes that pops up that my client can't see. You can see it because I shared the whole desktop. But inside the notes, I've got this thing called an AI agent, right? Maybe my client asked me a question that I don't really know the answer to, but while we're talking, I've got these AI agents where they're really focused on specific skill sets. Like we'll say inventory, right? We'll say inventory, which items are tying up the most cash? I don't know, because we had an inventory problem. I can click on a sample question or I can type in my own question. I do this while I'm talking to you. AI looks at all the data that we've put in to the client and into the client company, and it's going to tell us, what to do next. I can create an action item from here. I can save it to notes, right? Which will put it back on my notes page like this. It will create all these notes for me. Yeah. Just lost it when I got off there because I didn't do anything with it. But it will create the notes and it will tell me if there's a tool inside. Where's that? On this one. If there's a tool inside, that one didn't have the tool. Go back and ask that same question. Yeah, so if I ask a question, it's going to read everything, give me the answer, and it's linked to the next tool, right? So you can say, hey, listen, we had these questions on inventory, and when it pops up, no cash is there. There's no inventory thing there for it. Of course, when I ask it, it didn't put it in there. But what you're going to do is you have 23 different products or 23 different tools that are in here. So under the All Tools tab, there's 23 different tabs. This is about as close as I could get to make it look like a smartphone. Think about it that way. It's not all the tools that you need on every client. It's the tool that you need when you're working with that client, right? So there's 23 different ones there. Now, for your client, it's going to recommend, hey, you should use the fast money formula and then 13-week cash runway or debt optimizer. It's going to look at the data and tell you what to do next. Or if you need to, you can say, what tool should I use? And it will walk you through some questions like, Artie, what's your goal right now with this client? Just give me a question and give me an answer.
What is your question? What's your
Oh,
primary goal right now
yeah,
is
I'm just showing
improve
you.
cash flow.
Okay, improve cash flow. There you go. Is it urgent? Is it something you need to plan for in the future? Is it going to happen next month, next week?
Usually within the month.
All right, so in the month. And do you have financial data or not?
Yes.
Okay. And so, boom, it's going to tell you what to do next, right? We'd already set it to cash flow, so it's going to be the same recommendations, but you just pick on one. So maybe I want to use the debt optimizer now. Debt optimizer is when I can take my entire debt schedule and import it into here, right? I just copy and paste the debt schedule into into the tool, and it creates all of these individual uh, debt instruments, right? So I can go edit it. What's the interest rate? What's the minimum payment? I can edit all this stuff. If there's bank covenants, I can add the bank covenants. It will help me identify when the company's out of covenant. If it is a alternative lending product, you mark it as that because when it does its debt reduction strategies, it tries to get you out of high interest credit card advances or merchant advances, those type of things, and into traditional lending. So it's going to try to help move you there or getting in something that's going to save you a little bit of money. And down below, it's going to just say, hey, listen, based on what we know in the market today, we think you're paying too much per month in interest. We can save you a couple $100 a month just by following some of these recommendations. So you're like, oh, okay, what is the recommendations? I click on the recommendations and it comes up with the strategic debt and growth financing. It gives you a grade for how well you manage debt. You know, it goes through not only what your current portion of debt is, but what your borrowing capacity is. And some people will walk into the bank and go, hey, I need a loan. And the banker goes, well, how much you need? And the client goes, well, I don't know how much you give me, right? I don't want clients to have to just be in that I don't know situation. This is about what you can afford. The bank's not going to lend you more than that based on your current situation, right? They're going to give you a roundabout. So if I got a piece of equipment that's going to cost $200,000, chances are I need to come up with about $80,000 or $90,000 myself as a down payment because they're only going to give me about $100,000 in more debt. That's a good way to stay out of being embarrassed while talking to a banker. Then you got payoff strategies, right? It's going to help you create payoff strategies. It uses either a custom one, you can add extra payments per month. It does the avalanche or the snowball, right? You can go back and forth between those and tell you how much interest you're going to save and how much faster you can pay it off if you follow a debt reduction plan. You can model refinance and consolidation, right? You can model what that's going to look like. It will also do the ROI for you if you're planning on getting another piece of equipment. You just fill out these fields and it will tell you, like we want $100,000. Already give me some numbers here. We want it for an expansion. What's a good interest rate?
Good interest rate would be 8%.
All right. Term is
5 years.
okay. And if we do this expansion, about how much revenue you think we'll get out of it?
I'd like to get at least 50,000.
Okay. All right. And in this fake company, what do we make normally in net profit?
23%.
So you analyze that and says, hey, we don't recommend you doing this, right? Because your ROI is only going to be 11% versus an 8% cost, right? You're not going to be able, plus with your debt service coverage ratio, you're not going to be able to keep up with the payments.
Mm.
So it's going to help you make decisions on should I buy this or should I not? All right, based on just the information you put into it. Pretty slick. Nobody's doing that. But then again, I can, also find lenders that are out there, right? I can put in how much I'm looking for, and it will go to the internet and try to give you some ideas about where you might fit in the market. So you can help find matching lenders that way. And then you can save a plan, right? You can save this as a plan and put it on a to-do list. Now, keep talking about to-do list. For that, it's the actions. This is how you keep people moving, right? And doing the thing. A couple different views you have. You got a Kanban board, which is, hey, I'm working on this now, so I can move that to, I can open it up and edit it like that, but I can also move it to in progress or move it to completed. And when you move things to completed, it's going to evaluate what was the impact, because it takes when you started the action and when you finish the action, what was the difference on your financial statements? And what it will do is create this results board. Hey, we did that one thing. And when we did that one thing, it gave you $22,000 more, right? So it does the math to tell you what the result of that action was based on what you did, right? It goes back to those variables and sees what the actual impact was to your financial statements. This is what makes you valuable, right? As an advisor. Hey, you remember my fee is $2,000 a month? You did one thing. I had you do one thing and you got $22,000 out of it. You got the better end of the deal, right? But it keeps them involved, keeps them here, keeps it like that. You can also upload, it's got secure document storage, an activity feed as well. The activity feed it works like a private social media between you and them, or text messages between you and them, because you can upload pictures. Like I got clients in Utah, and sometimes they ask me questions. I'm like going, hey, go take a picture of the floor and let me see what you're talking about. And they'll throw it in here, and that way I can kind of see it, and everything's in one spot, right? I don't gotta go look in 50 different places, email or messages or whatever. Everything's right there. And yeah, there you go. You can manage the access, saying I want to add somebody as a client, or I can add them as a firm member, which is somebody in my firm. You don't get charged per user, you get charged per company. Unless you're on a legacy grandfathered plan, then you don't have to worry about either. You can have as many users, as many companies as you want to. So from there, you might want to say, well, before I give a client access, I want to know what they're going to see. So there's this thing of customized tools where you can select, I don't want my client to get in there and see 23 tools. I only want them to see the fixed asset manager, because we're working through, how many assets they got and what they owe on it still and what it's worth, and the pricing center. I just want them to see two things. Well, if I turn those on and enable it, I can save that configuration. And that way, when my client logs in, they'll only see the things I want them to. So this is what it looks like for me, right? As the advisor, I can have an advisor only view where I can just see the advisor stuff, right? These are advisor things, not tactical. These are strategic. And maybe I want to view this as my client. I want to feel confident that they're going to see. So if I press view as a client, Kathy, what do you think you'll see on the tool list?
Just the inventory and not inventory, the fixed assets and what was the second one you had?
Pricing.
Pricing, yeah,
All
pricing.
right. So if I do this, that's what I would expect to see, right? So I click it. It tells me, hey, you're in client view, because I've had people go, hey, all my stuff disappeared. Am I going, oh yeah, you're in client view. So
You're not supposed to see that.
put it back to the viewer. Yeah. So, but look, see what it focuses it down. So your client, when they log in, they only see the two things you want them to, so they don't get overwhelmed and quit.
Oh, that's
Right.
cool.
So then if I view as advisor, now it's all back, right? So that's one of the things there. The other thing is this notion of this favorites bar, right? Because every client you can have favorites for. I'm always working in the same thing, and I don't want to go to this tool library every single time. So I can just see these stars. If I click on a star and click it on or off, see how it added it to and took it away down here on the favorites. So I'm like going, I always use the valuation with this guy. So I favorite it, boom, valuation pops up on the favorites bar. Now, some people don't like it down below. So I can come up to the settings again and say, move the floating dock to the header, and it will move it up to the top of the screen. So it can get it off the bottom and put it up to the top wherever you like it. But it's a place where you don't have to go back and search for things all the time. You can go, oh, I can just go here to the fixed asset manager, and it opens up that tool. So we're right at the top of the hour. Questions, comments, concerns, moans, groans, gripes, complaints, otherwise.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
I'm like already thinking everything as I'm looking through stuff, but it's overwhelming. It is definitely overwhelming.
Yeah. So, and again, I think I tried to preface that you can't think about it as overwhelming. You got to think about like, I need this next, and you're gonna go either look for it in another app or you're gonna look for it in your file explorer, but you're still gonna need it.
Yeah.
And-
No. I'm not talking down about that. I'm overwhelmed because there's my brain's already going again, like for what I would do for one client, different client, like I already had questions as we were going through this, like, because my one client is, like you said, you can do the hybrid version because like my client has inventory, he has a construction company and he has a service company and he has a retail store, like all four things. And I'm like, well, how would I do that with this?
yeah. Yeah. Exactly right.
So
So,
cool.
all right. And Artie, we didn't do the other one, but if you wanna meet, I can take you through a whole demo of the other one as well.
Yeah, I'd like to. I tried to get on my account. For some reason, my user and password didn't work onto this clear path. So I have to call you and figure that
Oh
out.
yeah, you gotta go. You can't go to you gotta go to classic.clearpathtocash.com. And
Oh, classic dot clear
yeah,
path.
you still have to create an account though, because it connects it to the subscription with that
I
email.
did. I thought I did create an account because I have a username and password in my log here.
Yeah, you want to go to this one that we're going to be redoing the landing page for.
Okay.
This is the older version of that. I say older, but it's just it's the non-AI one. One has AI, the other one doesn't.
It's clearpath to
Yeah, it's classic.
cash.com.
Yeah,
Okay.
classic dot.
Got it.
And then when you log in, it's got it's a mathematical experience, right? It's a more simplified version of what I just showed you.
Got it. Thank you.
And we're calling it clarity now. That's kind of to make the difference. This is the clarity one, the other one's the advisor one. But
Thank you.
yep. And so here I can come down and all the same techniques are there, like hidden cache, right? I go to, a period. It's just a different version of what I just showed you.
Yeah, easier.
Yeah, a little bit easier, right? So I can turn these on and off same way. Operates
I
about
gotta
the same
walk
way.
before I run.
All right. Cool.
Oh, quick question, Mike. Just so I just saw in the chat that Jeff put in about the for the link and stuff, because I remember going to one of your other thing last month and I think this is what you were talking about, this new live demo thing. Maybe that's what the cash flow, Mike, you were talking. I can't remember what I was in with the insightful thing last month, the monthly thing. And I'm assuming you had said something about a new demo and things. So I'm assuming this is what you were talking about.
Well, if somebody doesn't have an account and they just want to play with this, if you go to my homepage, cashflowmike.com, you can go down to the bottom and I have an interactive demo. You click on
Okay.
explore the free demo and it gives you access to the demo company I just used.
Okay. I think that's what you were telling us last month. So
Yeah, so that's for people that just want to play with it before they make a decision to become a member. You can just play with it right here for free.
Okay, cool. But in that thing
It
that
doesn't
just
say it doesn't save data and stuff like that though.
Oh, no. I didn't expect it to, but I did want to kind of just try it out and check it out and everything else. But thanks. I got a lot out today. That's really awesome. It was a
Yeah, right on.
great
Yeah, just
demonstration.
use the explore the free demo. Just remember it's FIX, FIX,
Yep.
FIX, FIX. Find it in
Yep.
file. All right.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Don, did you get in or you want to stay on and get in? You're in? Okay, good. All right. Thanks, Kathy.
Bye, everybody. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Thank you.
See you now.
The numbers are right. Everything reconcile. Nothing is missing. There's more data than ever, and less room to think. So, what do we actually do next? That's the moment you realize the math was almost helpful.